You leave it. Alright, there it is. We back. My fault, bro. Yo! What's going on with y'all boys, bruh? This is Grim Reaper bringing y'all One Punch Man 134 predictions. Got y'all boys. All right, before we get started, make sure you guys check out the link in the description for our Discord and hit that big red subscribe button. Just click that. Click it 3-4 times. All right. You guys already know what happened in the previous chapter. The explosiveness took off to a whole nother degree, and Genos came through with the things. We've gone throughout the week doing different kinds of poll questions, different kinds of debates and discussions, talking about the true strength or the possible potential strength of Genos as of this point right now. And I'm here to tell you that in my viewpoint, I don't think he's an above dragon yet. There's going to be a difference between the potency of his 10-second mode in this drill cannon blast and his conventional fighting style with this new armor and his new capabilities. If we go hark back to the time where G5 had first showed up into the story, this is a presentation of Genos' superior offensive ability with the new power-ups. Breaking the core with this single kick, coming in with tremendous speed with that jet drive arrow type attack, really indicated to us that now he's at least at a point where he's fighting the dragons lethally. Every hit could be questionably the final hit. Now I'm saying this because of the comparison to Atomic Samurai's Atomic Slash. It is obvious that Atomic didn't put, let me not say didn't put his full effort into it. It was pretty evident that with a second effort he would have immediately taken care of it. And he also didn't expect the density of the thing inside of it. So for all the different excuses that we can give, the final sum of that information, at least that I'm taking it, is that Genos' offensive power now is pretty up there. To be able to compete with Atomic Samurai's Atomic Slash to a certain extent, I like that. So I'm excited to see who else he could encounter. We talked about throughout the week as well, whether the encounter with Drive Knight versus Genos would have turned out differently with the information that we had before and the information that we have now. I personally do think that Genos would be currently Drive Knight from what we saw in display, at least in terms of the preparation before the fight, in terms of the capabilities that he's shown, his agility, his transformation power, his offensive prowess, his heat. I still don't think it's enough to deal with the versatility and the strength that Genos portrayed, not only in the quick encounter with G5 or with his drill cannon, but his previous skill up against Garou himself, one of the strongest martial artists in the series. With that being said, the potential of Genos outside of this drill cannon for me is high dragon. I do believe that he can still pull out more very, very potent attacks, maybe even some incineration cannon level attacks without having or needing to be within the 10-second mode. Whether that's the case or not, I am waiting to see more of Genos. I don't know. I guess this is the biggest question to answer coming into 134. We don't know what happens after the 10 seconds, and I guess the next best question to ask is, will they actually defeat Sairochi in the 10 seconds? It's an iffy for both of those. Now, if we hop into the first one, if Genos exceeds the 10 seconds, we're told, or we're alluded to heavily by Kusino, that it won't be good. It'll most likely be Genos will become kaput or self-destruct as we've seen before. I don't necessarily think he'll self-destruct, but it would be preferable to me that he has some additional damage even without exceeding that time limit. Now, normally we'll take some realism into account. Whenever you have a machine that has some tolerances, if you exceed those tolerances to the extremes, you can get some pretty detrimental damage. If you guys notice in your vehicles, there's a red line around the speed meter and the RPM meter. That's when it's reaching the maximum rotations and the maximum velocity that you want to reach at. That's when things will start to get uncomfortable for the vehicle. But it doesn't mean that the vehicle can't do those things. And the vehicle should actually be able to recover if you do happen to go to those tolerances. So the whole question of the matter is, if Genos does use the 10-second mode, does that mean that he won't be able to fight after that, even if he does end it before the 10 seconds? And if he does reach the 10-second mode limit and exceeds it, what will happen then? I'm not sure. Can Genos stop using the 10-second mode mid-fight and it'll still be okay? Is it a 10-second, like, quick energy boost like a pill that gives him a 10-second burst of incredible power, but since then, it's done? Is the drill cannon really just an amplified version of itself right now? Does he have a regular drill cannon? These are questions that in chapter 134, it's likely that we'll find the answers to. It's likely that in 134, we'll be spanning the actual fight of of the 10 seconds. Now, that's asked to or address the second part. Narratively, I would say no. I would say that no, next chapter won't be the entirety of the 10 seconds, or they will not win within the 10 seconds if next chapter does happen to be the end of the 10 seconds. I think that Sairochi has brought some pretty powerful things to the table, and to have Genos deflecting the beams in tandem with Tatsumaki, it seems unsatisfactory. It seems like that tandem shouldn't be enough to overcome what she's going to bring to the table. Now, I guess the final proposition that I have is, what is Tatsumaki really going to do here? We know what Genos can bring. We know that Genos can hold off these beams to an extent, and he can spam them almost as much as she can, if not as much as she can. So, we have been alluded to that she wants to lift the base, finish lifting the base. I don't know exactly what that's going to do. Like, maybe expose the rest of the monsters. We don't know how other storylines are going to intertwine with that, but we did see some of the heroes falling out or leaving the grasp of Tatsumaki. She is giving them their own independence, or they should be safe, and she is going to commit the final action. So either she's going to grasp them, rescue the rest of the heroes like Darkshine and Child Emperor, who may still be inside the base, and then finish pulling up the base, or those heroes are going to have to deal with it themselves, such as Flashy Flash and Zombie Man, who weren't able to get rescued. So if she is going to lift the rest of the base, what does that really do for her in the fight? Is she going to be able to, like, smack her with it? Is that going to separate the source of energy that Sairochi has? Isn't she already separated from it? There's a few more details that I think we're missing in regards to exactly what Tatsumaki's battle plan is. That's a good thing. We don't want to know exactly what she's going to do, but I feel like we should have some grasp as to how Genos can help with this. If he's really just going to come into the situation, tell her that basically, I'll handle this huge weapon that she has, but you finish her off. The finishing off has to be sufficient, or else Genos won't be the one looking bad here. Genos always takes these beastly L's, and this might be a scenario where we see a beastly L. Maybe Genos holds off a beam, but he messes up one time, or he misses, and he gets, grazed by one of the blasts and gets taken out, or maybe he takes a big hit. Maybe he gets taken out of commission, and he doesn't even get a chance to use the 10 seconds. Whatever it may be, the conclusion of this fight is still on Tatsumaki's shoulders. Sairochi, to an extent, I will say, it is Sairochi's to lose. Depending on who else shows up, depending on if Saitama's going to show up or not, and depending on if, like, Tatsumaki's winning is, like, pivotal to the narrative of the story. I don't think it's crazy to see Sairochi actually win. Like, Sairochi actually deliver a lethal head-on blast to Tatsumaki, take her out, and then we have a situation where we need additional heroes to come in. I don't think it's going to be the case, but I also don't think that it's going to be such an easy win. I don't think that Genos and Tatsumaki are going to successfully team up to bring down Sairochi. I think Genos will help, and then it'll be left on Tatsumaki to make the final effort on her own, without any assistance, without any dependence. And if that doesn't turn out to be the case, you already know K Baldi's coming through. I don't know, whatever it might be, you guys make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe below, just click that subscribe button. Subscribe is click it like that, and check out our Discord if you want to talk about this topic and what else might happen in chapter 134. Yo!